Welcome. In this video, I'll provide tips and strategies on how to lobby for a project or other funding request. Here's what we'll cover: how to get started, identifying champions, advocating for your request, and testifying for your project or funding request. Let's jump right in. When making any funding request, it's critical to determine exactly when to get started. Before you start talking to legislators, step one is to make sure your request is fully developed and you are ready to ask for assistance. From there, maximize your chance of success by having conversations well before a legislative session begins. Once the session is underway, things move pretty quickly, and legislators have very little time for meetings, especially ones that involve lengthy conversations. A third key element of early success is coalition building. Not everyone in your coalition needs to be a direct advocate for your project, but they can support you by providing logos, letters, or emails of support. Build your coalition by identifying community groups, businesses, chambers, schools, the county, or other local interests that may benefit or see a benefit in your request. Next, you need to identify your legislative champion or champions for your project or request. This will most likely be a representative and/or senator. They and their staff will be among your most important allies because they can provide you with information that may be hard to get otherwise. Schedule a meeting where you ask them to champion your request. Provide them with details about local support and materials and documents for the project. This includes a completed project request form. If you don't have one of these forms, ask your legislator for an updated form to fill out. Here is an example of the form for the 2023-2025 biennium. Remember, this form alone does not guarantee funding. It's the first thing that the Legislative Fiscal Office, the co-chairs, and the presiding officers look at when determining which requests can be fulfilled. Your form should summarize the project details but include all essential information. This is your chance to make a case for the project. The project schedule needs to have a reasonable timeline. This is the section which proves your project's readiness. Lastly, the contact person is who the legislature will reach out to with specific questions. Additional details, timelines, pictures, and designs can be included as attachments. The form is the legislature's first look to determine which projects are ready to advance, and it needs just enough information to pique their interest. Combined, these materials show that your project is ready to go, and this will improve your chance that legislators will partner with you. It can also give them a win for their district and a good community project to highlight. Now that you have a champion and some key partners, it's time to create and execute your lobbying plan. Again, this should be happening prior to the legislative session. To begin, there are three main groups that you want to connect with: the leadership offices, which is the Senate President and the House Speaker, the co-chairs of the Ways and Means Committee, and the co-chairs of the relevant subcommittees of Ways and Means. Utilize your legislative champion to get these meetings and start scheduling them well before the legislative session. You should be able to get at least 30 minutes, and if possible, have your legislative champion join you for the meeting. Be prepared. Make sure to provide all relevant materials in advance and have copies for the meeting. If it's a virtual meeting, have your documents on your computer to share with folks as you go over them. Finally, follow up the meeting with a thank you. This could be an email or a card and will show your appreciation for their time. Once the legislative session starts, identify and connect with the key offices you still need to meet with and get meetings early. Work with your coalition partners to see if they can send or write letters of support. Finally, make sure to stay in touch with the staff of your legislative champion. They are your biggest allies and can update you on the progress of your request. There are a couple of ways that you can ensure that key legislators will hear about your request publicly. The first opportunity is to testify as part of the Ways and Means Roadshow. This is when the legislature visits multiple regions throughout the state to hear about projects and key funding priorities to gauge how they should balance their budget and make key investments. Work with your champion to figure out when they will be in or near your community, and if possible, attend and testify about your project. The second opportunity is at the end of the legislative session. If you have worked with your champion and taken steps to lobby members, you will know if your project is on the list for final consideration. Once your hearing is scheduled, be prepared. Identify your best speakers. This could be you or someone else in the city. Select 3 people who speak well, stick to the talking points, and will be brief. Each person should expect to testify for 1 minute. Work with each speaker in advance to ensure you cover all the necessary information without duplicating talking points. Additional information, letters, and testimony can be submitted online and referenced in public testimony. Let's review the key points to remember when lobbying for a project or funding request. First, always be mindful of your timing. There are specific actions you should take before and during a legislative session. Second, identify key partners and a legislative champion. Third, create a lobbying plan, be prepared, and execute. Finally, when testifying, be brief, stick to your talking points, and work with your partners. By taking these steps, you can considerably increase your chances of success. If you want to take that extra step and hear directly from the experts, please watch our upcoming video where we ask legislators about their experience with funding requests. And for more resources, check out the LOC's Lobbying 101 Toolkit located in the Advocacy section of the League's website. Thank you for watching.